So you guys are primarily in natural resources right now, or do you guys have any like other random like real estate clients or anything?
Yeah. So I think when Robin says natural resources, it's like a term of art, right? And this is where our Transect 101 comes in. You're talking about how do you price things and educate people. Because even though like people hear natural resources and that means something different to an oil group than a solar group to a real estate person, right?
That term, yeah.
And so I feel like when you say, are y'all just in natural resources, like from a land standpoint, the federal government, state governments consider your property a natural resource, right?
Yeah.
And so like the birds, the bunnies, the cow ponds that are wetlands, the ditches that are streams, like that, they consider that a natural resource. And so it's kind of across the market. And that's been one of the difficulties about, I think, the education piece of Transect that we finally locked into is that everybody's got a different term for what we do almost. It's like our solar groups, battery storage, wind, like they call it something different inside of their organization. And because of that, the education piece is so important, but it's also just interesting because when you talk about doing the dollar to dollar comparison, it's like, well, you pay this much money. Well, they may be paying a consultant $3,000 to $10,000 to do it after they've selected their site or route. And so you're not only giving them something they could do earlier on. So we have groups that have anywhere from 20 to 40 users in the platform, run reports all across America at a phase in the project lifecycle that they've never had the ability to do. And so it's like, well, how do you price that, right? Because they're used to spending X dollars like when they've selected a project, but now they're able to get this information so much earlier on to de-risk their projects and make better decisions. And that's been, it's like, it's not exactly an apple and orange. Well, it is, right? Because it's two completely different process. One is like, oh no, there's a problem, like my little bird problem I had, right? The other one's like, oh, I'm going to face this issue. We need to budget and plan for it.
Yeah.
And so the value of that is real interesting because it's hard to quantify it because you can look at, well, this is what you used to get, but we're doing 100x that earlier on. And so then they're using Transect to dial in their sites, their routes or whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, if you go back to your real estate deal, you know, if you would have had Transect, then you could have identified that before you guys even started the project and say, okay, look, you know, we're going to have to spend a few $100,000 to mitigate this issue. Put it into the model, see if the project works instead of getting 30 days into it. And it's like, what the hell? Like, how do we not know about this?
Oh, we can only chop down trees for 7 months out of the year.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's going to delay when we can start the building process.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.